What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Live at 5. Today, me and Quinn are myth busting.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
Howdy guys, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, so we're gonna be breaking down some misconceptions, I guess, instead of really like myth busting, but just some things we see coming in. You know, some customers coming into the store, stuff like that. But before we get to the fun part,
what you got on you today, Chris?
What are you guys carrying? And then, of course, I'm rocking the Cruiser again, red and black. Got the beer bomb attachment on the other side, which I actually like that thing, so it can just stick on the wallet. And then I've got a new addition to the collection with the Techno Carbon red and black Archer. Finally tracked one down. I got it for a good price, so this bad boy should sit in the collection for a while.
Oh yeah, good looking.
What about you, man? What are you rocking?
Today I got the Paragon Asheville Steel Warlock. This one's really special to me. This is a new pickup for my collection as well. It is a one of one. They put this together just for me. I wanted one with the Sorcerer Grind blade and the tapered starburst handles, all with a clear ano, and they did a knockout job for me. I'm really happy with that guy.
Sounds sick whenever you close it.
I know, man. It's so nice. Gravity knife on there. So cool.
Sounds like when a knight puts on his like chainmail and he's like stomping to go take someone out, man.
And then I do have a shortcut on me for a little bit more of a practical cutting tool. Don't want to bug up the Warlock, so we got the utility knife on me too.
Sick, man. All right, cool. So we're gonna jump into a couple of the new arrivals today, guys. We are gonna show off. We showed this off last week, but the House of Blades Blue Denim Nkosi. The exclusive is going to be dropping Friday, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're looking at picking one up, make sure you're there. These are going to be a little different than the original two drops that we had. It's going to have the silver thumb studs and the silver dot bead instead of the blue accents this time. But I still think they're so awesome if you need to pick them up. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. My fault.
Awesome.
I'm so used to everything dropping in the afternoon.
Next up, we got the new bug out. This is the M390 bug out from Benchmade. We've got this one coming out the 17th, correct?
Yes, Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday the 17th.
So that'll be next week. We don't have prices on those just yet, but we'll make sure to add that to the posting whenever we do it. We should do a Instagram post or maybe like a story that they're live. Next up, we can just do these two together since they're pretty much the same thing. We've got the mini narrows. These are going to be dropping on. Man, that blade is catching all the light.
Oh yeah.
These are dropping on Thursday, the 19th. I like the black one.
The black one is nice.
Yeah.
They look really good.
So real quick, we have the pricing over on Benchmade's website for the mini. It looks like $560. Earl, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining in. And then the all black, the coated, the DLC $580. So I think pretty close to the larger sizes in price. But if you guys are looking at picking up the mini, if the original was too big, these will be dropping next week.
And then next up, we've got the new drop bears. Here's that one for you, Chris.
Oh yeah, my favorite. Earl, what are you carrying today, man? We kind of already went through our stuff real quick. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
So we've got the acrylic drop bear. We've got a lot of drop bears, but we just brought the two that we had out in the moment. And then the
polycarbonate
plastic. That purple one does look sick, but when you kind of get it into your hands, it's a little
plasticky.
Cheapy, yeah, a little cheapy feeling, but I like the acrylic one a lot.
That looks really good.
Yeah, just being able to see through.
Oh yeah, looks really good.
Those I believe are $68. They'll be available next week as well. If you're local, they're available in store. Remember, if you're local, everything's available in store the week ahead of time, just because it's a little easier to put in the system while we're getting stuff ready for the website. Earl is carrying the Microtech Ultratech Olight Arcfield Pro.
Nice.
Man, I have the Arcfield with the laser pointer. I wish I had the UV one.
Yeah, the UV one is really
that
nice.
one's sick. All right. I think that's pretty much
That's all we got to
Yeah,
show
those are all
off.
the new arrivals. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into these misconceptions. I'll let Quinn go ahead and take the lead on it.
Sweet. Well, we're jumping right in with the first one, guys. I think this one's a really popular one. We hear this misconception almost every day in the shop. Lightweight knives are cheap. We've got to bust that misconception. It's not true, man. Lightweight knives, they sometimes can feel cheap in hand, but the bug out, the narrows, the list goes on. Those are some incredibly built knives, and the lightweight grivery or the lightweight nature of certain materials used doesn't necessarily take enough away from the structural, integrity of the knife to make it a cheap knife.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the cool thing too. Like, even though they are a little bit less in price point, it's a way for you to get into that higher end knife. And then, maybe you don't have money for that expensive version. So you grab the lightweight and then you can add scales or something to the other one. I think the only time that might be an issue is with like a pair of 3 because it doesn't come with the liners. But I still think that they're probably
still get a lot of strength out of a pair of 3. I wouldn't go chopping wood with it, but get a lot of strength out of it.
David said he's carrying the bailout with aftermarket tie scales.
Nice.
Nice, man. That's it was probably a cheaper way than going with the actual tie bailout.
With his hands. This video today. No, we didn't.
Did you see Taylor break a bug out with his hand? I saw him break the what is that Walmart brand?
The Ozark Trail.
Ozark. Yeah, I saw him bend that.
Yeah.
So I saw him snap that. That was funny. I know they were doing some stuff on Whatnot and things, so that was pretty cool. He said, I think he was trying to sell it. He's like, I know what I got, so that was funny. All right, next up, I'm gonna go with. Let me see, which one am I jumping into? I'll do kind of like the opposite. Expensive knives are better than all other knives. I would say, yeah, we're just gonna break that down. That's not always the case because you see companies that are normally like fixed blade makers and they try and make their first folder and it's $600 just because it's produced here in America. That's not going to make it a better folder. They're usually rough the first couple of times, rough around the edges, thicker, they haven't worked out all the kinks. Usually higher end knives are running on Teflon. Hinderer used to run on Teflon, and you see MTECs running on Teflon. You know what I mean? So I don't think that the price point necessarily justifies a better knife. Obviously, they're just basing it off of what they had to pay, and they're trying to make a profit.
Definitely.
So
absolutely. All right. Well, I'll get into this one next. This is a fun one. Gifting knives is bad luck. We hear that a lot. That's a very popular misconception. And it's an older one. It's I think something that's a little bit more outdated now. It's just a superstition. It's old with time, but it's not bad luck to gift somebody a knife. It won't sever the relationship. You don't have to worry about that. I have heard folks say that if they are, adamantly that they believe that, a lot of folks will gift a penny with the knife, so that way the penny can be gifted back by the recipient of the gift, thus extinguishing that bad luck. But definitely that is another misconception that we hear too much. Your friends want knives, man. Gift your friends knives. They'll love it.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny, man. It's just a little superstition. So I'm gonna jump into the taking apart your knives voids your warranty. So you actually see that a lot in the warranty section for a lot of knives. Like, don't disassemble this. If you disassemble it, you void your warranty. In all honesty, unless you strip the screw out or damage something internally in a really bad way that looks like you drilled through it, I 100% don't believe that they're going to be able to tell. Usually when people bring in knives that they just bought, we kind of inspect it to see if you've used it, but we don't 100% know unless there's some cutting on the edge or something like that, something crazy. So disassembling your knife, they usually say do it with a good
take all the rejected
tool set.
Gifted knives. LOL. You and me both, David.
Yeah.
You and me both. I'll take all that bad luck. Give it to me.
But yeah, I definitely say that that's a misconception. You can disassemble your knives. Just know what you're doing. Do it the right way.
Use the right tools.
Yeah. And if you do it on a Benchmade, be prepared to sit there for like 5 hours.
And look at what your manufacturer says too, because some companies, they will void their warranty, but a lot of companies, they do say that if you take the steps do it with care, that it doesn't void your warranty.
Yeah.
All right, I'll jump in with dull knives are safer. We get that one quite a bit. A lot of people who are just getting into the industry, just looking to get maybe their first knife, or maybe their first serious knife, or maybe, you know, their first balisong. They want a dull knife. They say, oh, you know, well, it's going to be my first knife. I'm not too experienced. I want a dull knife, so that way I'm not as likely to cut myself. And with that, you know, a dull knife, you've got to use more force, and you've got to use more intention behind your cuts, which, you know, lead to things like slippage and just sloppier work. With a sharper, cleaner cut, you're doing exactly what you want to do. You're less likely to slip. You're less likely to cut something you don't want to cut. But that's another misconception. Dull knives are safer.
That's funny. That's a really good one, man.
We get it a lot. We get it, I'd say, all too often.
All right, so next one up, we've got you can't sharpen serrations. So we do sharpen the serrations. We do it all the time. Now, I believe when you jump into these little micro serrations, that's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. That's not going to be something that we do personally, but I'm sure maybe you could do it. But serrations on the partial serrations on a Spyderco, any kind of pocket knife, we touch up all the time. Now, we never say that we're going to get it back to factory, but we can sharpen those serrations.
We can get it cutting again.
So I know that's kind of a little misconception for some people.
All right, moving on from sharpening.
What's up, Jack?
What's up, Jack? Moving on from
see.
sharpening serrations, we've got knives are dishwasher safe. We've got to bust that one. We've got to put it to bed. Knives are not dishwasher safe. There's a whole host of reasons. You can get, you know, that introduces rust and patina on even stainless steel knives. The agitation of, you know, the knives getting knocked around by the water and bumping into other utensils and knives and such, that's going to cause chipping in our blade. You know, if you've got a wood handle, after a couple of washes, you're going to start to see splintering in your handle. All around, just a bad bet. We definitely, even knives that are marketed as dishwasher safe, we definitely want to take the care to hand wash them. And, you know, if we take care of our knives will take care of us.
That's funny. Jack just said, watch the video with Taylor Martin snapping a bug out
in half with his bare hands.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to pull that off with this one, man.
No, not that one.
With that aluminum on there. That's funny. I guess we need to just go watch this video, because we've had YouTube playing in the store all day.
We have today.
We've had Ben, Zach, all of them on the TV and stuff. It's been awesome. So we'll have to throw that up there. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna snap that one. Maybe we need to do a video.
Give it a try one day.
Or maybe I don't want that question answered. What if I can't snap it? That just means I'm super weak, I guess. All right, so next one up is gonna be stainless steel can't rust. We get this all the time. What's up, Ronnie? Everybody comes in, they're like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want that. I want something that's, you know, completely stainless steel. Any steel neglected is gonna rust. It does not matter. You leave it outside to the elements, they are gonna do what they do best, and they're gonna rust. They're gonna start pitting and things like that. So nothing's 100%. You know, I know they kind of, like with the salt knives, things think that they're indestructible and stuff like that, but if you do not take care of your knife, it will still rust. We get complaints and things like that all the time. Hey, you sold me this, I thought it was stainless steel, thought it wasn't gonna rust. It rusts, so always make sure you're maintaining your knives. I thought that was a good one.
Absolutely. We got a good one up next. I'll go for knives are inherently weapons. It's a popular one. We do hear it quite a bit. You know, a lot of people think that knives are built as weapons inherently. And that's just not the case. A knife is a tool, you know, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers know this today watching now, but you know, a knife is dictated, the use is dictated by the user. You know, if I'm carrying a knife on me, it's for cutting tasks and things of that nature, and as pocket jewelry. But definitely that's one we hear very often.
Jack says, imagine walking up to the Benchmade booth at Blade Show and snapping a bug out in half in front of the manager.
Sounds like bug out's problem.
If someone walked into the store and did that to us here, I honestly don't know what I would say. First of all, because I'd be so stunned that they snapped the thing right in front of me. I'd probably go get Matt and be like, you know what? I'm just not going to deal with this. And if they snap the bug out, imagine what they would do to me, okay?
Oh yeah, you don't want to anger that person.
David's got one for us. My favorite myth: knives are prize. That's
Oh,
a good
man,
one,
that's
man.
a
I wish
good
we would
one.
have had that.
We should have put that on the list.
I
That's a good
have
one.
a knife specifically, which is a cheap, just crappy little knife that I will use to like turn a screw or something. But I do not use any of my other knives for that. Specifically, I just have that knife. It was gifted to me, and I don't care about it. It was a crappy little knife. I think it was like an Imtech. So I'll use that, but yeah, 100% they're not pry bars. That is why everybody has a pry bar in their loadout.
Gun plastic handles.
What is it? If someone did that in front of you guys, it's okay because you had nothing to do with the Nerf gun plastic handles. Yeah, you know, it's so funny you say that, Jack, because I think the shootout, I call it the Nerf gun of OTS, just because of that grivery just
feeling.
feels like a toy. So that's funny you say that. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Well, moving on from there, we've got another good. Oh, this one's you, Chris. This one's you, man.
Which one?
It's either you grab one, either one, grab it off the
list. I guess another misconception. Sorry for the delay. Is you only need one good knife.
It's a good one.
I think there's no one size fits all in this entire hobby. If you're someone that just works with a knife and you just need to replace one and that's all you ever do, great. Great. You have one knife. That's perfect for you. But usually when you get into this hobby, you have one knife. It has some features you like. You dislike liner locks. You dislike frame locks. So you get another one and you start building out everything. You want to carry something else. I think having multiple knives is completely fine. I think having a backup knife on you is great too, just because you never know the situation you're in. I have my Archer. I'll use it to break down boxes. But let's say I run into, I don't know, something that requires me to pull out staples. I'll either use my pry bar or I'm going to jump to my Victorinox Cadet. You know, it's perfect. It's already
two knives on me today for that same reason.
Nice setup.
I'm always telling folks in the store here, knives are, you wouldn't wear your fishing shoes to a race.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wear your running shoes on a hike. It's different shoes for different races. And so, what knife that you might like for work, is not going to be the knife that you want to take with you as maybe an eating utensil, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. So I have this, I'll carry it every single day. But if someone was like, hey man, we're going on a fishing trip or something, nope.
No, not taking the Archer.
It's not, oh no. Yeah, it's just not going with me. I'll grab something else just because I want to have something in my pocket. But I think having multiple knives is the way to go.
Awesome. Awesome. I think I'll jump in with knives can last forever. We get that one every once in a while. Somebody comes in, they're looking for a nice heirloom quality knife, and nothing wrong with that, of course, right? We all like to have nice things and, knives that are going to take care of us for sure. But, you're never going to find that knife that lasts forever, right? No matter how much you pay for it or how much Magna Cut it's got or what, regardless. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. With regular maintenance, with regular wear and tear, with sharpening, it is a finite, lifespan that you have on those knives. Even if it's 2 generations, 3 generations, it's not going to last you forever.
Fook, what's going on, man? Thanks for jumping in. We're busting our myths already, man. We're halfway through the list, so appreciate you jumping in. Just on your point, exactly. If you take care of the knife, then yeah, maybe it lasts you forever. This pen could last me forever, but I tend to spin it all the time, and when I drop it, the ink busts everywhere. So, eventually I'm gonna get tired of replacing all these ink pens and stuff like that. So nothing, just, you just gotta take care of your stuff, but still, I would say that nothing is gonna last forever.
Not forever.
Here we go. Next one. Sharpness comes from steel type. Now, higher end steels do get sharp. They take a really good edge, but it's just like sharpening on a belt system versus sharpening on a stone. Your angles, everything is gonna matter. So you can get anything sharp. You can get everything like a razor blade. Every single blade is gonna take a really good edge if you know what you're doing. But yeah, I don't think the high-end knives like Magna Cut, what is there? There's a new Rex steel that's like super high up there. Yes, they take a good steel, and you'll see like some great YouTubers that know how to sharpen and do their thing. Anybody can sharpen that if they learn. but that doesn't mean that's the only steel that takes
Absolutely.
it. You can get 14C or something like that and get a razor's edge on it and cut through paper towels and stuff. So
to piggyback on that just a little bit more, yeah, for me, the biggest thing when I'm sharpening knives that I'm looking at for how sharp am I going to be able to get this knife is blade geometry. I mean, I almost couldn't care less what steel the knife's made out of. I know that if with a thin spine, a really thin hollow ground, I can get D2 razor sharp. I mean, hair popping sharp. So it really, it comes down to blade geometry and many more factors than blade
and then
steel
also like what you're cutting. You could be
100%.
going through abrasive material like cardboard and zip ties all day long, and you have Maximate, but you see us more times than someone with D2 does, and that's just because they're using theirs to open up paper or some mail and stuff like that, cutting tape. Nothing crazy. So I just think there's way too many factors, and it's just stuff that we see all the time. People come in and either they're upset or they're like, they just have that misconception that it's always going to be sharper because they spent that pretty penny. I think you're next.
Awesome. I'll go with next up. This one comes from Sam. Y'all can a little shout out for Sam with this one. Case knives and slip joint knives. Any traditional style knife can't be dropped shut or slammed closed. That's a very common misconception we hear a lot. Maybe not super common. It might be getting a little bit, one of those things you hear less and less. But just like anything else we've talked about on the list today, you've got to, it's neither here nor there. You've got to take a look at what knife is in your hands. With case knives, you can let them fall closed. Nothing's going to happen to the edge. It's not going to hit that leaf spring in the back and dull out. But, there are higher end French slip joints that do, bump against the edge of the knife when they drop closed. So you've got to take a real close look at what you're holding, what you're closing, and you've got to know your knife.
Yeah. I think there was an issue on an older Jack Wolf, which he corrected, so I'm not even trying to throw shade or anything, but did kind of hit like the back spring and would kind of like chip the blade and stuff. And it just comes down to like that quality control. These guys know what they're doing, and they sharpen those knives specifically to make sure that they don't hit the back and stuff. So okay, so here's the one that we get a lot because it's like a superstition kind of thing. You're to hand a folding knife back to the person the way they gave it to you. So typically, whenever I pull a knife out of a case for a customer, I don't care who they are. When I pull
there
this,
you go, Chris. I just gave you a knife.
See, I don't do that, but typically I'll close it just because I don't want them to drop it if I miss their hand or something, and then it slices right through them. So I close it. And then they look at me and say, which way did you hand this to me? Closed. But it's not bad if they hand it to me back open. I'm gonna have to open it anyway to put it back in the case to display the blades. But that superstition of, it's bad luck, you need to remember how I handed this to you. That's just not something that's in our job description that we remember.
Closed.
Yeah, we hand it closed. So I always say closed, but if I've given someone bad luck, then there it is. But we definitely don't believe in that here, because we're just trying to be safe. Fixed blades come out of the case, we'll set them down, and blades, when we hand them to you, they're going closed.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're coming out next with a fun one. We've got OTF and Gravity knives aren't safe. That's a very popular misconception. I mean, not for folks in the industry and in the hobby, we're very well aware of that, but for, it seems almost everybody outside of the hobby, you get a lot of that superstition attached to Gravity knives, attached to OTF knives. A lot of people think there's much more risk with carrying one, but that's simply not the case. As most of you guys know, you have those are knives with true one-handed operation. So we're able to keep our phalanges out of the way of that blade 100% of the time, which is insurmountably safer.
Yeah. Fook, nobody's chatting, man. No one wants to talk to us.
I know.
We're a little sad right now. It's all good. Obviously, for everyone that jumped in late, let us know what you're carrying. We're going to stop. We're still watching the chat. We're just kind of going through these so they don't drag on too long into the thing. Your chat's not frozen. Man, you're good, Fook. I think a lot of people said they were at work, so they are chiming in whenever they can. I know we go live at a weird time, man. I wish we could go live later at a more convenient time for everybody.
But we thank everybody for being here, man. Absolutely.
David for sure is at work, so I know I got him, man. All right, so I guess we can just do these two together, right? The first one is going to be made in U.S. knives are sorry,
Quality.
are quality. I personally am not going to dig into a certain maker, but I will say there are some knives that are the same price as a Chris Reeve, or very close to it, or Hinder, and they are not of the same quality. I would much rather buy a knife from Riot. What's the other one?
Best Tech.
They are doing great things, and their price point is a little bit under. I know they're still kind of expensive, around like $300 for certain models, depending on the steel and stuff like that. But no, 100%. There are some American-made knives that are not.
Don't cut the cake.
They're not worth the money.
For sure.
And I love American-made. I'll buy a Chris Reeve. I'll buy the Archer. When this knife wasn't even proven, they were just dropping a couple of them. I love the design. I know what Tactile's done before, and they showed it with this knife. I think it's awesome. And there are just some American makers that. No, I don't think the quality's up there. No, 100%. Sure. That if you took off the flag and slapped China on it, I would believe that it's probably just like a clone factory or something making them.
100%. So. And then coming off of that one, we've got made in China knives are cheap. Yeah. On the other end of that coin, we hear that a lot. I don't want a made in China knife. I'm looking for a made in the U.S. knife. Knives made in China, they just don't have that quality. That's just not true. There are so many makers in China, specifically in that focused Xinjiang region of China, that they just have so much pride behind what they do, so much intent and so much care behind the knives that they produce. The stuff that Riot rolls off the line is just phenomenal.
No, all those guys, they're doing their thing. Riot obviously being an OEM for like Notorious EDC. I believe
Arcane.
They did Arcane.
No.
I think he uses different ones. Best.
Yeah, he does. He uses.
But and that's just the thing, man. I think again, just rolls into it. Those knives are of higher quality than some American-made knives. So 100%, I don't think that they're all cheap. There are some things where they just throw stainless steel handles and 14C and call it a day. But there are some companies out there that do really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuchs carrying the Vosti Thunderbird. I think you had that in the last couple of times that I asked, which is awesome. And then the CJRB Frac.
Speaking of some good knives made in China.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How we were just talking about the multiple knives as well. You always got to have your backup, and you got to have a backup to that backup.
A backup for your backup.
Always prepared, Fuchs.
Oh yeah.
So we just
I think that's. Oh well, we got one more. I'll let you hit it, man.
OTF and Gravity knives are illegal. Everything's going to depend on where you live. But if you are local to Texas, and we get this question all the time in the store, whether it's OTFs, switchblades, butterfly knives, in Texas,
double-edged knives,
everything is legal. I believe the only big one that we look out for is you have to be of 18 years of age to buy out the front.
We have location restriction here in Texas. So anything deemed as a switchblade by the law, automatic knives with a blade of 5.5 inches or over, balisongs, etc. Those are going to be location restricted and basically not able to go anywhere that your firearm can't go if you have a license. So
for instance,
no
like schools,
active court cases, schools, large gatherings, like concerts, sports events, and things of that nature. But other than hypersensitive areas, OTF knives, gravity knives, perfectly legal to carry in our state at least.
I think it's pretty typical. I mean, you're not taking your pocket knife into the football stadium.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You might forget and stuff, but it's no different than the airport. So those locations kind of make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, as far as I understand, you can walk down the street with a samurai sword on your back, and they cannot do anything to you. So they may look at you weird.
You may get some looks.
It may be probable cause to just ask where you're going.
Massachusetts laws changed. Can carry and
it's always blocked. Sorry, I can carry an auto now.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
About time.
Yeah. You know what? I think I was reading about on the forum about some guys from Massachusetts excited about the law change over there. So that's awesome, man. I'm happy for you guys over in Massachusetts.
Was Knife Rights involved in changing the law, man? I'd be curious to know, because I know they're really big on making some things happen. I know that's why Hinderer started producing autos and stuff like that, just because him and the Knife Rights guys were able to do that. LOL, I flipped my ballet song
while grocery shopping. Legend.
Yeah.
Legend.
You know what? I forget, like I'm at restaurants and I don't typically pull my knife out, but sometimes I just want to fidget with something while I'm waiting for like my food to come. And I do get looks and I forget where I am sometimes.
That's so funny. That's actually, I have a funny story. The other week, Chris knows, but the other week I was buying a new car. I got a Ford Escape. And we were over at the dealership, and I'm, in the sales manager's office, and I actually had my Warlock on me, and I was flipping it open and closed like that, and the young saleswoman came into the office. I think she needed to drop off, the keys and the manual and everything else, and I went and flipped my knife open right as she walked into the office, and she set the paperwork down and left with her alarms completely raised. I felt horrible, but we all do it, man. It happens to the best of us.
Heck no, man. Car dealerships, and be like, I need that low.
I need that car over there. Start waving it around. That's how you get the good deals.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is all the misconceptions we have, but we're going to hang out for a little bit and we're going to run through just because you guys all jumped in. And I want everyone to know about the drop happening Friday. So Friday, 11 a.m., not 11 p.m., Central Standard Time, we are dropping the exclusive blue denim Incosis. These are sick. I love when the blue denim is actually all oiled up or, used and stuff. It gets really dark, matches with that lanyard a little bit better. And then we've got the silver dot bead and silver hardware. These are going to be a little different. Originally, this is how our exclusive was intended to look. There was a mistake on the first batch. We didn't want to send them back, so we got blue hardware. And then on the second batch, it happened again. We didn't want to send them back. So the original 2 batches are going to have the blue thumb studs, and then there's going to be these. These are going to be the last run for a while. I don't know if we're switching to a new model.
65, right?
Yeah.
We bought 65 of them in.
We've got a big batch, but I'm not 100% on the number.
Like that.
But these will be the last one. So if you were looking at grabbing some of these, Eric, like he said,
a good bit.
Yeah, it should be somewhere in the 60s. I don't know 100% because we got to break down how many smalls we got. I think smalls were a lot less. If you were looking for the small, the large, we upped the order amount. But Matt handles these, so I'm not 100% sure. So I don't want to say 250 and then it's only like 20. But it's pretty high. It's bigger than the normal amount that we would normally get on the last 2 runs. But yeah, I would say pick these up if you were looking to grab one because I don't know when they're coming back. They're going to source more blue denim material, and then we could skip a year depending on whatever Chris Ryu has going on. Let's see. I know they celebrated it, but I don't know if they had helped with the case. Okay. Yeah. Normally I see them post about it if they did, and I didn't see anything. So I was just curious. You guys need some Makos. Makos from Squid. I think we might be out completely. I think we only have one, but yeah, we need to get with Squid. We need some more knives. The Tater song was sick. Yeah. Were you here with that one? The first one?
I wasn't here when we had the Tater song. I have seen one though.
I like the packaging. It just came in like a little bag with a hot dog thing.
Yeah.
It was sick. I don't remember who it was, but someone said we got to play table football with a rump 5.
That hurt, man. Ow.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Flick it through the goalposts. How many? Oh yeah, we already answered that, Eric. Yeah, I want to say it was more than. I'm just gonna agree with you and say 65.
I think it's about somewhere in the 60s.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the 60s.
Ruben, yo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining in. David, yes, to fidget with.
The Mako.
Yeah, the Mako's cool. I think that's the one with like the shark fin, right? That thing hurts.
Yes.
That thing hurts whenever I was messing with them. I'm not a flipper, but I tried. And I hit back and it just caught my thumb and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this thing. I think I'll just go with a normal one. And then Next week on Tuesday, bug out M390. You want to call that gold? Brass.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Brass looking aluminum handles, gold, whatever you want to call it. I think they messed up by putting the blue. I don't think that looks good together, but you know, it's all right. Those are dropping on Tuesday. I do not have a price point for those bug outs yet. Mini Narrows are, if you want to hold those up. Yep. Mini Narrows are
Friday.
No, Thursday, the 19th.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Mini Narrows there.
Is the fin the bite side? I didn't know that. I thought the fin was the safe side.
They've got the coated.
I thought it was because the way that it kind of hooked down. Yeah, that's the DLC. So those are pretty nice. Benchmade's website's showing MSRP, so I'm not sure what the price is 100% for us, but we'll post them and let you guys know. And then, yeah, we've got the drop bears. We've got a lot of drop bears. We only brought 2 over. Restock on Kaiser. If you're local, we have these ready to go. Come on into the store. But this one is going to be a polycarbonate. And then the
this one is acrylic.
Acrylic is sick.
The acrylic is nice, yeah. It's got a nice milling in the plastic as well.
$68 for these. Oh, he said, it is the safe side, but I use it as the bite side. Well, it taught me my lesson, and now I don't want to flip anymore because that hurt, so I can only imagine what a live one would feel like. But yeah, I need to learn some tricks. Maybe we'll do a live stream where we just
do some
learn
valley
tricks for an
That'd
hour.
be fun.
Yeah, that'd be
That'd
sick.
be fun.
It'll force me to learn some tricks.
There you go.
David will have you on so that way you can
teach
show
Chris
us
how to do it. Yeah.
Show us what we're doing, man. All right, guys. Well, that was pretty much it. Remember, if you guys want to pick up any one of those knives, they'll be on the site next week. The Incosis are dropping Friday. I'm going to share this real quick. $675 for the large. I believe the small is $625. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where we landed at on those. And you can join the wait list so that way you're notified right here, as well as we have that sick photo reminding you of the drop date. All right, guys, well, we're gonna get out of here.
All right.
We appreciate you joining in, and we will catch you guys.
See y'all next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Later.